Welcome to another tutorial on how to create a detail page with Pluxbox. If you're enjoying these tutorials, don't forget to subscribe so that you never miss a new video. We have already covered how to create an overlay. Please ensure you watch that tutorial first. In addition to our home page, we created a new page for the overlay. And if you click on Add a new user, you'll have a form with two inputs. One for name and one for email. Now, we want to load a list of users, and by clicking on any user, display their specific data in this overlay as a detail page. If we go to the work data, you'll see I created a collection named users. And for the data structure, I added name and email. Within the Data Explorer, I included information for 4 users, including their names and email addresses. Go to our workspace. Start with adding a load event to the view. Then add a live list block. Select collections and then users. Connect the load event to the live list and then add a get data block. For the path, choose edges. Next, add a loop list block and connect the get data block to the loop list. As you can see, I already added a text element inside a container to display users. For the container setting, I set the direction to bottom with vertical space between of 16 pixels. Select the text element and connect the loop list to the position attribute of the text element. Now we have to double-click on the loop list. Add a get data block and connect the value attribute to the object attribute of the get data block. For the path, select node and then select name. Again, select your text element and this time connect the get data block to the value attribute of the text element. Let's see the result. As you can see, all the names in our data collection is displayed here. For the next step, add a click event to the text element. Then add a buffer block which allows us to control data flows. Connect the click event to the execute attribute of the buffer block. And for the value, create another path in the get data block. Select node and then ID, which is a unique ID for each data in the collection. Then connect this path to the value attribute of the buffer block. Then add a set data block and connect the buffer block to the value attribute of the set data block. Then we define a path, for example ID user, to assign each ID. For the last step, add a set route block to your logic and connect the set data block to both attributes of the set route block. And for the route, select home page as view and the other page for the overlay frame. Now it's time to create logic in our overlay page. Add a parameters change event to the view. Then add a get route parameters block and connect it to the event. Next, add a get data block. For the path, use the same ID that you defined in the loop list. In this way, you retrieve the user IDs to display their specific data on the detail page. Then select query, choose collections, select users, and then select fine. Connect the value attribute of the get data block to execute and also ID attribute of the collection block. Then add a get data block and for the first path choose name. Select the first text field and connect the get data block to the value attribute of the text field component. For the second path, select email, select the second text field and connect the get data block to the value attribute of it. Let's check the result. If I click on each name, I will see the related information of that user in the overlay detail page. Thanks for watching this tutorial.